Update. Am I the a-hole for being mad that my husband thinks I tricked him with our child's birth certificate? Original post. I want to give some backstory to explain where I am coming from and why this situation is so hurtful for me. My husband and I come from similar backgrounds. Our families were paycheck to paycheck, and not many went to college. We both have degrees and make significantly more than the rest of our respective families. When we got married, I was already a homeowner of a small house and had a car. My husband, however, had a lot of debt, and his credit was trash. It wasn't his fault. He had significant student loans and had frequently had to help his family members with money. He also has ADHD and had mishandled some bills. I was understanding of his situation, but I was also anxious to help him get debt-free so we can have kids without such burdens over us. He was making $80K and I was making $100K. He moved in with me and we split expenses 50-50, except that he didn't have to pay any rent. I fully covered the mortgage and home insurance since he's not on the deed, and I also paid extra into his debt so he can pay it off early. His car loan is in my name and I also cover half of that. I do IT technical support and I got the opportunity to take a job that required 50% travel and paid a lot more. We together decided that I'd do this job for a few years to significantly shore up our savings and pay off a good portion of the debt. I did this job for a little over 2 years till I got pregnant and then took a lower paying job, $120K now, which doesn't require travel. The travel job paid more, but it was so hard on me. I was traveling to the back ends of small towns, where the big warehouses and data centers are located, and the job is physically demanding, pulling cables, moving equipment, working in very cold conditions. I was miserable in this job, and ended up with some back problems, but it was a sacrifice for our family. When I was 8 months pregnant, my husband asked for a paternity test. It came out of nowhere. I asked him if he didn't trust me, and he said he did, but because I did so much travel, he just needed some assurance for his peace of mind. He said his family and friends have asked him how he could be so sure of this pregnancy when I have been out of home for so many nights. It really broke my heart that I did so much for this man and did try to protect my assets or my money, and he treats me like this. I got very hormonal and cried about it, so he stopped pressuring me then. Now our son is 3 months old and he's back at it again. He's put his foot down that I need to have the paternity test done and he won't sign the birth certificate otherwise. I told him his name is already on the birth certificate because we are married, and I did the paperwork before they discharged us at the hospital. He didn't realize that would be the case and is furious at me thinking that I tricked him. So here I am stuck married to a man who not only doesn't love me or trust me, but is an idiot. His family is calling me and pressuring me to let him do the test. My family is offended on my behalf, but some mutual friends are saying a test is not a big deal. But it is such a slap in the face after all I have done for him. Am I wrong for how I'm feeling? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a-hole. Frankly, I would get the paternity test done, but go see a lawyer first and get your finances in order. I would also try and make sure your contributions to his debts up until now are classed as a share of assets. If that's possible, so you don't have to pay anything further to him. But I don't know how these things work. Get the divorce papers sitting ready, and the moment you give the paternity results, hand him the divorce papers also. Then tell him he needs to pack a bag and go live with his parents. That the house is solely in your name, and you will have the rest of his stuff packed up for him. That from now on, the only contact you will have with him will be regarding your baby. That all visits have to be pre-agreed by you or you will not open the door for him. He clearly does not trust you or fully love you to demand this, nor could he have any respect for you. Without trust, respect, and love, there can be no marriage. His actions have made sure you can no longer trust him, and you must certainly have lost the last bit of respect for him. Cut your losses and get a good lawyer. Find one that's known to be an attack dog with good record of wins. Since you financially supported your ex for most of the marriage and paid off his debts for him, whilst you paid a bare minimum towards the household, see if you can use that to your favor. Refuse to let him have any access or award to your pension. Oh, and since he's so sure you cheated, investigate, as I believe he thinks that as he cheated himself. It's very common when people become suspicious, it's as they have been cheating themselves. Get the test, so when you divorce, he won't be able to quibble about owing child support. Exactly. You have been carrying his butt and let his family get in his head. Hand him divorce papers with the results, and tell him he needs to go stay with his family since he believes them over you. She needs to stop paying for his expenses immediately. Let him deal with his own bills. Take the money and hire a great lawyer for advice to proceed. Take the test and post it everywhere the day he's served with divorce papers. Not a-hole. How about you tell him that you'll get the paternity test, but in exchange you want him to sign a postnup that protects your assets and finances so he's not entitled to half in the event of a divorce. I fear that this isn't the end, and it's only going to get worse. For example, he may get proof that he's the father, but he may not let go of the idea that you may have cheated while traveling, and he'll continue to baselessly accuse you. That is a really good idea. I'm going to look into this more. Thank you. If he tries to balk you about it, you could even have a cheating clause in it, where he could get X per your lawyer, but otherwise he takes what he brought into the marriage out of it. The cheater clause should go both ways. It's probable he's the one who's been cheating and he's projecting. Yeah, agree. It's a bit suspicious. Either his family has gotten in his ear about, how dare your wife travel so much for work? It's not normal for women. She might be hiding something. Or he is the one who has something to hide and is projecting. Either way, he's being a bad spouse. Now for the update. In my previous post, I had asked about how to deal with my husband wanting a paternity test. We did a test and got the expected results. He wanted to get one that has legal validity, not a home test. It was a lot more expensive and he paid for it. We had to use the agency to swab samples and maintain a chain of custody. I was surprised and bothered that he had this planned, but he covered a high price, and it'd be in my best interest to have a clear, indisputable legal trail, so we went and did that. He'd been over the moon happy since I agreed to do this, and I resent his happiness. He got the STI panel done, and that was clean too. He was surprised by my request, but didn't argue about it. He said it's just a test, no big deal. He was a lot more weirded out about a postnup and flat out refused to cooperate there. I gave up on that because I consulted a lawyer and I can't get much from that anyway. Whatever I have spent on him and his debt is gone and I can't expect anything back. And we are in a community property state. We argued a lot about separating finances, with him accusing me of trying to control him using money. He pointed out that we were a couple years away from him becoming debt-free, and if I leave it all on him, then it'll take him 5+ years. He still does not understand how his showing a lack of trust in me is comparable. He kept arguing that if he were the one with more money, he'd have spent it on me. And for me to use this now makes me a bad partner. He came around and agreed to contributing more to bills after seeing how much my family has turned cold towards him. I am close to my family and they have loved him, but this has made them upset at him. My little sister was outright rude to him, which really got to him. He is the middle child and was frequently teased and bullied by his siblings. My sister was the only relative who loved him like an older brother and doted on him. My words and arguments didn't move him, but he got upset about her icing him out. So now he'll be paying for his own car and contributing to insurance and covering his debt by himself. Still no rent because he simply can't afford it. I wasn't going to ask him to stop supporting his parents, and after all that, there's nothing in his bucket. I wasn't thinking divorce when I wrote the post, and I still don't want it. But I feel like I am falling out of love with this man. Like the scales have fallen from my eyes, and all his faults that I had minimized before stand out glaringly. My mother is fully on my side, but she has advised me to not make any quick decisions. I don't know what I am going to do. He's trying to be helpful and a good partner, but it feels like an act. Whoa, who could have thought accusing your wife of cheating would negatively impact her feelings towards you? And who cares that his wife is upset? His wife's sister was a little mean. Suddenly the sky is falling. When it's just her, she's a hormonal witch. But when a kid suddenly looks at him differently, then maybe it really is him who is the baddie. Outside perspective, I guess. He still does not understand how his showing of lack of trust in me is comparable. I mean, he just thought you might be a cheating whore. No big deal. Exactly. And now he thinks she's a bad partner because she is making him pay his own bills. He's a leech, plain and simple. OP's life would be a far simpler and easier once she cuts him off, and will only have to take care of herself and baby. What he's doing now is just damage control. It's definitely an act. Like your mom said, don't make any hasty decisions, but it sounds like you know exactly where this is headed. Don't stay in a relationship you're not happy with. It's not healthy for you or your child. I'd also advise OP to start saving some rainy day money on his side in case she does end up leaving him. OP definitely deserves better than this. Last story. Update: am I the a-hole for starting the divorce process after finding out my daughter isn't mine? Original post. My life feels like a bad drama show at the moment. For some context, me 33 male and my wife 30 female have been married for 7 years, and what I thought was our daughter is 3. Looking back, this all started after my wife gave birth to her daughter. She suddenly became a lot more affectionate to me, was a lot more active with me in the bedroom. She also made my favorite desserts a lot more often. She's a fantastic baker. I of course didn't suspect anything, since even prior to her pregnancy there were no signs of cheating, but also possibly could be that just didn't look close enough into it. Well, this whole fiasco started 2 weeks ago after a day out with her daughter, and she just sat me down in the evening and came clean about the fact that her daughter wasn't mine. Her waterworks of course also started, and apparently it was a guy from the gym, and it lasted a month before he disappeared on her after he found out she was pregnant. Honestly, even typing this now, I feel like crying since I thought I did everything perfectly, but she still cheated. As much as I wish I could say I had a stone face or something, I just started crying, and she tried to comfort me, but I just pushed her away. I felt so disgusted with her. After I had calmed down a bit, I just grabbed my jacket and left for a hotel. And while I was leaving, she just begged and pleaded me to forgive her, and that I was the only father her daughter knew. After crying myself to sleep in the hotel, the next day after I turned my phone back on, I had seen she had blown up my phone, and I didn't read any of it and just blocked her. After having a little bit of breakfast, contacted a lawyer to start the divorce process. And at work, I just asked for some time off, and my boss gave me a month off. By the evening, my mom and sister were calling me on her behalf and were on her side, and that just hurt me even more. While I'm not proud to admit this, I did drink myself to sleep that night. After that night, I started staying with my best friend, and my mom and sister kept spamming and calling me. A few days later, after she probably got the divorce papers, my mom just sent me a long text that, to summarize, was that I should step up and forgive her and not abandon my daughter, and that she would disown me if I went through with the divorce. My sister and mom are against me divorcing her, but my best friend and his wife are saying I have the right to not want to be with her or take care of her kid. I'm split on this. On one hand, I did raise the baby for 3 years. On another, I don't know if I could in the right mind raise the reminder of my wife's affair. Edit: to put some context, my sister is infertile, so I think that's also partly why my mom doesn't want me to continue the divorce, since she will lose her grandchild. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a-hole. Your wife also lied to you every single day for 3 years. Close to 4. He went through her pregnancy and all that entails, being lied to as well. Who knows how long her affair with Jim Boy was. Could have been a while before he knocked OP's wife up. Tell your mom and sister you will divorce, find a loyal, faithful new wife, have lots of kids. And if they want a relationship with their real grandkids/nieces/nephews, they should shut the heck up and support their son/brother, not the lying cheater adulterer. Or if they don't, you will know, contact the two of them. She said a month, but she's hardly a reliable source of information. Also, it was Bayou Dad that left her due to pregnancy. Sounds like otherwise, she would have left OP. This right here, it sounds like the only reason she's with OP is because her primary plan fell through. OP is not the a-hole, and he's not the backup plan. Ask your sister if she'd raise her husband's affair baby, and ask your mom if that's what she did to your dad and that's why they're supportive of cheating. Yep, and you know their answers. Their answers would be, it's not the same thing. It's never the same thing with these people. Now for the update. Hello everyone. First off, I want to say I'm high on emotion and drunk while typing this, so excuse any writing mistakes. Also, I want to thank everyone that has supported me and sent me nice messages. Now on the update. After seeing a lot of advice, I decided to meet up with my wife in a cafe today. My best friend and his wife were there as well, just in case she tried to pull anything. I'm just going to keep it short. She tried apologizing and I just didn't want to hear it, and asked what I wanted to ask, why she cheated, and if she already had done a DNA test like I suspected. And the reason she gave is the main cause why I'm drunk in my best friend's guest room. She cheated because the guy was attractive, and she made a mistake. Isn't that a bit? Give someone all you have and one attractive dude comes and she screws you right over. And yes, she has already taken the DNA test, and my daughter isn't mine. I'm still gonna take a DNA test for proof in court and as well to just make peace with it. I also blocked my mom and sister and will probably give my mom a visit in the coming week to give her a piece of my mind. Yeah, that's about it. My wife just banged a guy because he was attractive. Ain't that a bitch? Sorry if this isn't the update you wanted to hear, but yeah. Also, to everyone that is planning to say for me to reconcile with her, go F yourself. Unless you know what I'm feeling at the moment, don't take the moral high ground. Stay away from drinking. Moving on and being happy will be the best revenge on your ex. Stay strong. Wish you well. Yeah, getting wasted for a couple of days is not great, but understandable. Don't let it take over your life. I'm honestly with you on this one. I think separating yourself from them, mom and sister, is what I would have done, harsh words included. It's so infuriating how so many women get away with this. Paternity fraud should be a crime. It devastates people's entire lives. Decades wasted raising other man's kids. Jail time should be served. Old school here. How many people actually got away with this before DNA testing became possible? Not the a-hole. Around 10 to 15% in the last century. I watched a documentary about that topic at 90s. They gave this percentage. A story about a man who had 3 sons and daughter. After many years, he found out none of the boys was his. Only daughter. I am female and ashamed how some women can do such a nasty thing. The problem was never you. Cheaters cheat because they have no morals or character and are often entitled narcissists. You could be the most perfect person, hot, does everything right in the world man, and she still would have cheated simply because she wanted to. Remind your mom that you will probably remarry one day and have biological kids. If she keeps doing what she is doing, remind her she will never have a relationship with them because she isn't supporting you.